Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Beyond the Frame Live. My name is Dottie San Martin, and it's a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. Beyond the Frame has had the honor of being on this journey with proprietors and others in the industry and experts in this industry to share that journey and to share best practices of what they're doing and how they're getting through it. They're sharing their stories. Today, I have the honor of having John Kilpatrick of Holiday Lanes with us today, out of Johnson City, Tennessee. And
Mhm.
John's going to chat with us a little bit and tell us his story and what he's doing. John, welcome to Beyond the Frame.
Hey, thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Daddy. And hello, all you cool cat and kittens out there. Hopefully, everybody's doing all right. So, also, I was listening to the intro there, and it sounds like it's good.
Okay, so John, uh, since the center has been closed, what
Mhm.
have you been doing? Have you been doing things at the center? What have you done during this time?
So, a lot of this time was actually spent uh, for us. A lot of it's just been maintenance, taking some time to get things clean, work on machines, do some stuff that we haven't had a chance that we don't get a chance to work on in the normal course of the day, the course of the year. We've done a lot of cleaning. We pretty much pulled our snack bar apart, gone through, made sure that that's in good shape. Again, nice clean inside out. All of our devices, all of our fridges, all that kind of good stuff. Hey, Stephanie, and it's just been
Terry.
a lot of work like that's kind of been going on.
Mhm.
Outside of the center work, it's just been an insane amount of paperwork trying to get things filed with insurance, the payroll protection program, disaster relief funds, all that kind of stuff that's available and out there.
And you
um
actually started that very early on in the process,
oh,
which,
yes, yes.
kudos to you, especially since, what we found out with the funding running out. You were very fortunate.
Yes, we uh, basically every time that they had a program that was coming out that was going to be a possibility,
Hmm.
we jumped on it very early. We worked. Our bookkeeper got a little bit of overtime for those probably the past 3-4 weeks now, making sure that they got the relevant information in, the relevant paperwork filled out, and turned in as promptly as we could, because we just knew that you know to put it in a good Southern way, it's just going to be a mess. It's just going to be
Absolutely.
a mess and a lot of work to stay ahead of it.
You're so
Hey,
welcome.
Jay. Hey, Terry. Yeah, it's a little bit of a fancy mic there.
Yes. Well, besides the fact that there's no revenue coming in, John, what would you say is the biggest challenge that you faced during this time?
Uh, the biggest thing that caused the most heartache to Dad and I was, what do we tell our employees? Is just the stress of just having no real concrete answers, and still trying to stay, hey, we're gonna, things gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. We're gonna be here. We're gonna try to pay people for, as long as we can.
Of course.
Um, and and then they had the unemployment, the federal unemployment benefit came out, where it's like the $600 a week. And letting our people know, hey, if they want to take advantage of that, we're not going to penalize them. It's just been the situation of, how can we, you know maintain what we need to maintain, revenue, income wise or cash wise for the summer, and still balance it with doing our best to take care of our people. And that was honestly been one of the biggest heartaches and headaches from the past couple of weeks of, how do we go about doing that. Is
Absolutely.
really really worrying about, just, again, just worry about our people a lot.
Absolutely. And so, you are doing something rather unique with social media, and you're really leveraging at this time
Oh
to
yeah.
stay in touch with your employees. And I kind of think that this might be you're a big gamer. You love to be on Twitch. You do a lot on Twitch. Did that
Mhm.
have any influence on how you leveraged your social media, or you're leveraging social media right now?
100%.
I
Uh,
figured that.
um,
So
yeah,
tell us a little about
it was,
that.
yeah, sure. So yeah, one of my hobbies, I guess I would call it, for lack of a better word, is I do like the game. I mean, I'm a grew up as a computer kid, and about 2 3 years ago now, um Twitch came across my attention, which is a live streaming platform where people go, you can play video games and other people come in, they chat and they watch, kind of like we're doing right now, where we can see what's going on with people making comments. And like I said, that's why I have some habits. Like when I see somebody I recognize, I'm like, like instantly when Stephanie and Jay posted, I was like, hey Stephanie, hey Jay. It's just a habit I've developed from
For
that.
sure.
um and within like the first couple days of shutdown, because it's like we shut down Friday. We basically, we knew it was coming, and we had a Friday. It was rainy, it was cold, it was perfect bowling weather. Let's be honest, it was perfect bowling weather. And from 9 until 6 o'clock at night, we did $300 across the entire center. And we just said, if it's going to be like this, if
Gotta
it's
be
going to be
some
like this,
shift
it'll be cheaper for us just to close down.
for sure.
Uh, for us, it was at the start of a pay period, so it gave us a little bit of flexibility to decide how we're going to handle payroll, what options we're going to take, stuff like that. So we chose shut down Friday. Our governor came up that Sunday and said, hey, we're shutting down. Monday, Dad and I are at the center because we don't know what else to do. It's, Monday, you go to the center. We're up there, we're talking, and we, over the past couple of years, my dad and I, we've worked together at the center now about 20 years. He's got like 50 years in the bowling business. He started working with Brunswick in 1970. And he's just like, well, what are we going to do? He's like, we go get lunch during the week. Nobody's up here. How are we going to spend time together? What are we going to do? And I sat down. I said, you know what? It's easy. I've got everything I need for us just to get together and broadcast, hanging out during lunch, hanging out for lunch. I've got everything I need. I've got my laptop. Like I said, I like Twitch enough that my travel laptop I have, I bought like a little travel microphone to come with me, and I was like, look, I could just make it where we can broadcast to Facebook. We've got a good microphone, ultra basic setup, not expensive at all. I mean, again, absolutely not expensive at all. And I was like, we can
Well,
do
I've
it, and
got to
we,
ask, was there
yeah.
any resistance from your dad on going live on Facebook?
Oh heck yeah. So dad, honestly, he's like, I don't know who's gonna come out and listen, who's gonna hang out and listen to watch us eat and talk about bowling, who's gonna do that. It's not part of his, not part of his world. It's not part of his, worldview understanding. And I was just like, Dad, trust me, it's gonna be awesome. I guess it's like, you've got the best bowling stories to tell. How can we not, the two of us sitting down, trying to make each other laugh, trying to have fun while eating like we normally do, and then telling stories about bowling. How is this gonna be bad? How is this gonna fail? And it's been great. It's been great. It's given us a chance. It's given us a chance to kind of spend some time together, which has relieved some of the social distancing pressure,
Mm-hmm.
especially for him, because again, that's one thing that happens, like with being on Twitch and being on Facebook, is both times you get people coming in, talking, commenting. So you're having conversations, you're having that social interaction that a lot of folks may be missing otherwise. Because
Absolutely.
because again, there's
And
only so much TV you can watch. There's only so much Tiger King a person can watch.
isn't that the truth? Well, I understand, John. This is something uh, that your dad has expressed to you that he wants this to continue, even once you guys get back reopened. Is that
Yeah, I have been so happy about that too, because while it's not Twitch, it's not gaming. live streaming really has become like a hobby I've become passionate about. To me, it's a lot of fun. It's really interesting. And he has really fallen in love with it. He's really has had a very good time with it, because it gives us a little bit more of a, I think it gives us a little bit more of a direct communication with our guests that sometimes gets lost at the center. We had one guest last week during the stream was talking to us, and he said, he's like, I really got to talk I really got to talk to you and Dan more often when we come up there. He's like, he goes, there's so many stories, there's so much fun. He goes, you guys are just great to hang out with. He said, it's easy for me to forget, because when I come through the door, I'm usually there to compete, not necessarily talk, hang out, all that. I'm in a mindset to compete. And that ends up being he kind of had this thought of like, oh my God, like I'm just, I'm coming there to bowl. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm angry. I'm not really talking to them. And I thought that was a profound kind of revelation. So it's given us a chance to really, for lack of a better word that I can think of, really humanize ourselves with our guests. We're not just a bowling
Yeah,
center owner. We're not just the guy who, like, hey, I didn't bowl, I left 3 7-10s tonight, this is terrible. No, we're John and Dan, and we're just hanging out, we're talking.
exactly right.
And it's really been
Well,
interesting to get that connection.
for sure. Bowling is such a people business. People are coming in and they're like our family. So
Mm-hmm.
the fact
Mm-hmm.
that you have been able to continue that, despite the fact that they're not able to come into your center, I'm sure that going forward they are really going to remember those times, and they're going to be looking forward to it going forward just as much as you're going to be looking forward to continuing doing it with your dad. Now, the message has started to shift. We're starting to see talk of states reopening and centers reopening. In fact, I heard on the news this morning that Georgia, and specifically, they called out bowling centers would be allowed to reopen. So, what challenges, if any, do you see when reopening?
I think the biggest challenge, or at least I'll give my personal biggest challenge,
Okay.
um, is specifically for the state of Tennessee.
Mhm.
Is the governor and even our local mayor are saying, okay, we're going to reopen. It's going to be April 30th. That's everything's going to reopen April 30th, but we're going to do it within a multi-phase safe guidelines. And it's the same problem I've had this whole time of, what are those guidelines? There's no information out about it yet. If they're like, okay, phase one, we're going to reopen businesses, bowling centers, gyms, restaurants can open, but it's only for 10 members. Only 10 people can be in there. I might as well stay closed if it's only 10 people can be in the place. I mean, it's just, financially it's not there. We're
Right.
hoping, we're kind of hoping that they'll move with a, okay, you can reopen, and maybe every other lane you can have 5 people or 10. For that, that's financially doable. We'll have to adjust payroll a bit to make it work, but at least then that's totally doable. Um,
Absolutely. And that is a frustration that has been expressed by so many people, is that, the situation is changing so rapidly that you really don't know um, the exact ruling. And so that's, where the beauty of the resources that you have available, like, this platform on Facebook, Beyond the
mm,
Frame Group, and some other resources throughout the industry are really, really valuable to help one another. That is what it's all about right now, is everybody pulling together and sharing resources and sharing best practices and really coming together to get through this, and all of us getting on the other side. And I think that's, extremely, extremely valuable. I'm curious, when you reopen, or do you have anything special planned?
hey, Jonathan, hopefully you're doing well. I do. Um, so what we've been talking about, what we've been working on, as far as like a plan goes. Oh, it's Beth Stanley. Beth, I love you.
And hey, Matt. Hey, Rosa. Hey, Beth.
Oh gosh, sorry, I got distracted. I'm so happy
It's
as well
okay.
stopping by
It's
today. It's
okay.
amazing.
You're a star,
Um,
so enjoy.
yay! Anyway, so no, as I was saying, for reopening, we've got basically got two parties planned.
Okay.
One, we are going to have a big reopening day for our employees, so it'll probably be, if the state says okay, 30th is the last day of quarantine, the first is when you can open. We'll probably do it on like the 28th, 29th.
Hmm.
And so essentially what we're going to do is we're going to haul our this really big grill we have. If some of y'all have seen our Facebook, it's popped up in our Facebook feed a couple times, this massive grill dad has.
Nice.
So we're going to have a big party where we're going to go through fine tooth comb, make sure everything's ready. All of our facilities are good, our restrooms are good, our trash bags are all lined up correctly, that everything's ready to go, and that we are going to, make sure everything, our machines are working good, and then have a big thank you for our employees, the folks who've, have borne with all this uncertainty, and and been struggling with it as much as we have, of what's going to happen, who's going to be here, and thank him for sticking with us, and thank him for sticking through this, and thank him for the upcoming challenges we're going to face reopening in a new world, which is, again, I see a lot of bowling discussions of how and what is going to happen when we reopen. Step two, probably the first, maybe the second. We're going to have planning on having a big party for our league bowlers. Just basically going to invite them out for about a 2 to 3 hour time period where they can come in, bowl for free. And same thing, we're going to turn that grill on, and we're going to be cranking out some food and thanking them for coming back, and how we're looking forward to doing business with them again. It's
Nice. Now, on your leagues, did most of your leagues decide to stop?
No,
Are they going to continue their
we
season?
had one league. We had one senior league that had next to no prize fund, and they were just like, nah, we're done. They only
Okay.
had 2 weeks to go. It really wasn't going to affect their prize fund,
Hmm.
and so they were just like, nah, we're not doing it. We're not. All the rest of my leagues were like, nah, we'll delay. We'll just delay. So it's going to be interesting that most of my leagues have got about 4 to 6 weeks left.
Hmm.
So if I like I said, for us to do our summer leagues, we're probably going to have like 6 week long summer leagues, um,
Okay.
to kind of work with. They'll be very, very, very abbreviated before we get back into to rolling out for fall and stuff like that.
And
But yeah.
that might be good also, because people are they're in, the bowlers themselves are trying to get back in the swing of things, and
Mhm.
so that might be a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's, well, good or bad, it is what it is. It's where we're at. We're gonna work with it and do the best we can.
Absolutely.
It is. I'm not gonna lie. It is nice to know that that again, when we reopen and get things going, that we'll have that league income there coming in. So it's not going to be, a total who knows what's going to happen. But
Absolutely.
mhm.
So we like to ask all of our guests on the show, what is your message of hope that you would be willing to share with all of those that are watching today?
you know, I think a lot of us get stuck in the negative connotation of what's been going on, of the quarantine, of, we've got to stay home, the loss of revenue, stuff like that. What we don't look towards, or what we don't talk about, or maybe what we don't see, is how many people are coming together to help each other right now. you know
You
how
are
many
so
people how many people are helping that neighbor who can't or shouldn't get out of the house, and they're picking up groceries for him. How many members of our industry are coming together, putting forth ideas, putting forth suggestions. The ways that that on the surface has pushed everybody apart and kept everybody from seeing each other, are also the ways that are making people come together and tie tighter bonds than they ever had before,
you are
whether as
so
a family in an industry. So again, find find the good in what's been a tough situation. It's there. It really is, guys.
Absolutely. You know, we've always heard there's always a silver lining. And, you know, as a society, we got a little bit off track. And as you so clearly said, we weren't taking care of one another. We weren't as kind. We weren't as generous. We weren't as giving of our time. And it's nice to see that despite everything that's going on, that you still have those people doing the right thing. And I'll share with you a really quick story. My
Oh,
sister-in-law
definitely.
recently went to the grocery store and had uh, $100 bill for her groceries in her back pocket, and it when she went to pay, it was gone. And long story short, there was an employee of this grocery store, HEB, that found it and did the right thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know,
That's so
despite
awesome.
as hard as it is for people, there's still those good people, and there's still those acts of kindness that go a long way.
Hmm.
And you know, uh, I just think that as a society, things are going in the direction of making people more appreciative. And I think that that will reflect when we start to have our customers come back into our center. I think that they're going to be very grateful to be coming back in and to be back, you know, into the swing of things. And so I think that we'll see that our customers themselves will be a little bit different. So, you
I
know, John, I really appreciate it. Do you have any other thoughts that you would like to share in your closing remarks?
uh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So if you're a center owner operator out there, don't be afraid to pop on Facebook. Don't be afraid to do Facebook Live. Even if it's once a week, to sit down. You can either do it as a fireside chat, you can do it as here's what's upcoming, but the communication you can get by taking that 1 hour, one hour, two if you're really feeling like you want to, like you got a lot to talk about, but even doing a 1 hour show, um, sharing it, putting it on Facebook, doing it live, chatting with people who are there. And the best part about Facebook is Facebook posts or boosting.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook boosting is so inexpensive. You can take this 1 hour segment of your day, share it with your guests, whether it's just personal discussion, business, whatever, and then boost it for a week. I guarantee the numbers you're going to get out of it are staggering. Are staggering. It doesn't need to be high production. You know, you don't need a fancy broadcast mic. I have this because I have a deep passion for live streaming, but you can get a USB microphone for $100. That's almost broadcast quality, and and do the video, boost it for a week, and I guarantee the numbers you're going to get of people that are going to see the page, watch the video, and see what's going on is simply staggering. And you can control the pool size. You know, we're doing within a 30-mile radius around our center, and you know, in a month's time, our video, you know, the videos we've been posting have been viewed by 21,000, you know, have had
Exactly.
21,000 views. We've reached 32,000 people in that
That's
30-mile radius. It's stunning what you can get
that's
out of this.
absolutely wonderful. Well, thank you so much, John. You know, as we were talking about reopening and the messaging is really shifting towards reopening. I want to invite everyone out there to join us tomorrow. We're going to have a live webinar. We're going to have our technical support manager and a proprietor that's going to be sharing with you what you can be doing and the things that you should be doing to make your opening smooth and successful, no hiccups. You want to make sure that everything goes off without a hitch. So they're going to give you some best practices and things that you need to be thinking about now that's going to make your grand or your reopening very smooth. And then also, if you have additional questions and concerns and things that you are needing answers to, make sure that you visit the Cubica AMF COVID-19 resource page. There are links to Small Business Association, BPAA, IAPA, and a lot of valuable information. So you just might be able to find the answer to whatever it is that you have a question on. If not, certainly Beyond the Frame is the platform for you. So make sure that you are leaving your comments, posting the positives, letting us know what's going on and what you're doing to prepare for your reopening. So please make plans now to join us on the webinar tomorrow and on our next Beyond the Frame Live on Thursday. We are going to be joined by Mike Cannington from Bowland Centers in Florida, and he's going to share with us what they're planning and how they are going to be handling their reopening. So until next time, I ask you to be positive, think beyond the frame, and we will get through this. John, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, Dottie, thank you for inviting me. It's been fabulous.
Absolutely. It's always great to see you, and you keep up the good work.
I'll do my best.